everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm Julia, and I'm so happy that you are here. Today, we are going to talk about a very important topic: how to speak English fluently. Speaking English fluently is a skill that can change your life. It can help you talk confidently with people around the world, improve your career opportunities, travel more easily, and make new friends. But I know for many learners, speaking English fluently can feel difficult or scary. Maybe you worry about making mistakes, or you feel like your vocabulary is too small. The good news is, you don't need to know every word or be perfect to speak English fluently. What matters is practice, smart techniques, and building confidence. In today's podcast, I will share easy and practical tips that you can use every day. These tips are simple, beginner-friendly, and proven to help learners speak English more naturally and confidently. So, if you are ready to improve your English and speak more fluently, let's get started. Before we start learning tips to speak English fluently, let's first understand what fluency really means. Many learners think fluency means speaking perfectly without any mistakes. But this is not true. Fluency is about speaking smoothly, confidently, and clearly, even if you make small mistakes. For example, a fluent speaker can express their thoughts easily, use simple words correctly, and keep the conversation going. It's okay to pause for a moment to think. It's okay if you don't know every word. What matters is communication. Fluency is different from perfection. You don't need to know all the grammar rules or every word in English to speak fluently. What you need is practice, confidence, and a willingness to speak. So when we talk about fluency in this podcast, we are talking about speaking naturally, comfortably, and confidently, not about being perfect. Remember, even small improvements every day will make a big difference in your English speaking. Now that we understand what fluency really is, let's move to the first important step to speak English better: listening to English every day. One of the most important steps to speak English fluently is listening more. Listening is the first step before speaking, because it helps your brain get used to English words, sounds, and sentence patterns. When you listen to English every day, you start to understand how native speakers talk. You learn their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation naturally. You also pick up new words and phrases without memorizing them. There are many ways to listen to English. You can listen to English podcasts or audio lessons, watch English movies, TV shows, or YouTube videos, listen to English songs or news. While listening, don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just try to catch the main ideas, words, and expressions. After listening, you can repeat the sentences you heard. This will help you remember words and speak more naturally. Try to listen every day, even for a few minutes. Your listening skills will improve, and slowly you will feel more confident to speak English naturally. Next, we will talk about an important step to speak faster and more confidently: thinking in English, not translating from your language. Now, let's talk about a very important step to speak English fluently: thinking in English, not translating from your language. Many learners make the mistake of thinking in their own language and then translating into English. This can make speaking slow and difficult, and sometimes the sentence does not sound natural. To speak fluently, try to train your brain to think in English. Start with small steps. Label things around you in English. For example, when you see a table, chair, or phone, say the word in English in your mind. Describe simple actions in English. For example, when you are cooking, think, I am cutting vegetables, or I am boiling water. Use simple sentences to think about your day. For example, I wake up at 7 a.m., I eat breakfast, I go to work. At first, it may feel strange, and your brain may want to translate. That's okay. Keep practicing every day, even for a few minutes. Slowly, thinking in English will become natural, and speaking will feel much easier. Remember, fluency comes when your thoughts flow directly in English, without stopping to translate. Next, we will talk about a key step to improve your speaking practicing English every day. One of the most important steps to speak English fluently is practicing every day. Fluency does not come by only studying grammar or vocabulary. You need to use English with your mouth and voice. Even if you don't have a speaking partner, you can still practice. Talk to yourself. Describe what you are doing, like, I am drinking water, or I am reading a book. Speak about your day. For example, today, I woke up at 7 a.m. I ate breakfast. I went to school/work. Record your voice. Listen to yourself, notice mistakes, and try to improve. You can also speak with friends or online language partners. Don't worry about mistakes. Making mistakes is normal and helps you learn faster. The key is consistency. Try to speak English every day, even for 5 to 10 minutes. Over time, your sentences will become smoother, your confidence will grow, and speaking English will feel natural. Next, we will learn how learning useful phrases and expressions can make your speaking more natural and fluent. To speak English fluently, it is very helpful to learn useful phrases and expressions, not just individual words. Phrases are groups of words that are commonly used together. When you learn phrases, you can speak more naturally and quickly. For example, instead of saying, I am fine, you can also say, I'm good, thank you, or I'm doing well. Instead of asking, what is your name? You can say, hi, may I know your name? Try to make a small notebook and write down your favorite phrases. Every day, practice using them in sentences. You can focus on phrases for greetings like, good morning, or how are you? Asking questions like, can you help me? Or what do you think? Daily conversations like, I like this, or that sounds great. Using phrases helps you sound like a natural speaker and makes your conversation smoother. Next, we will talk about a very effective technique to improve pronunciation and speak like native speakers, the shadowing technique. Another very effective way to speak English fluently is the shadowing technique. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say, almost at the same time. This helps you improve pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. It's like speaking with a shadow of the native speaker. Here's how you can do it. Choose a short audio clip or dialogue from a podcast, video, or movie. Listen carefully to the sentences. Repeat immediately, trying to copy the way the speaker says it, the words, the speed, and the tone. Repeat multiple times until it sounds natural. For example, if the speaker says, I am going to the store, you listen and repeat the same sentence aloud, copying the sounds and rhythm. Shadowing may feel difficult at first, but don't worry. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. It trains your mouth and brain to speak English naturally. Next, we will talk about an important step that helps you gain confidence and overcome fear while speaking. Many learners find speaking English difficult because they feel nervous or afraid of making mistakes. But confidence is very important to speak fluently. Here are some tips to build your confidence. Speak even if you make mistakes. Mistakes are normal and help you learn. Focus on communication, not perfection. Your goal is to express your ideas, not to be perfect. Practice regularly. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel. Celebrate small wins. Every time you speak a full sentence or use a new word correctly, feel proud. Remember, even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The key is to keep trying and speaking every day. Confidence will grow slowly but surely, and fluency will follow. Next, we will learn how to expand your vocabulary smartly, which is another important step to speak English fluently. To speak English fluently, it's important to know enough words, but you don't need to memorize thousands of them. What matters is learning and using words the smart way. Here are some simple tips. Learn words in context, not alone. For example, instead of just learning eat, learn a sentence like, I eat breakfast every morning. Use new words immediately. Try to make a sentence with a new word the same day you learn it. Focus on everyday words. Words you use in daily life, like greetings, food, places, and actions, are more useful than rare words. Also, basic grammar is enough. You don't need to know all rules perfectly. Speaking fluently is more about practice, using words, and expressing ideas naturally. Next, we will do a mini practice activity so you can try speaking English right now and improve your fluency. Now let's do a mini practice activity to help you speak English right now. This is a simple exercise you can do every day to improve fluency. Here's what we will do. Pick a simple topic. For example, my day, my favorite hobby, or my family. Speak about it aloud for 1 or 2 minutes. Don't worry about mistakes. Just try to speak continuously. For example, if your topic is my day, you can say, I wake up at 7 a.m., I brush my teeth, I eat breakfast, I go to work, I come home at 6 p.m., I read a book. Use words and phrases you already know, and try to add 1 or 2 new words if you can. Repeat this exercise every day. Each day, try a different topic. This activity helps your brain and mouth get used to speaking English naturally. Remember, speaking regularly is more important than speaking perfectly. Now that we have practiced, let's talk about common mistakes learners make and how to fix them. Before we finish, let's talk about some common mistakes learners make when trying to speak English fluently and how to fix them. Translating from your language. Mistake. Thinking in your own language and translating into English. Fix. Practice thinking in English directly, even for small sentences. Focusing too much on grammar or perfection. Mistake. Trying to speak perfectly slows you down. Fix. Focus on communicating your ideas clearly. Mistakes are okay. Learning words but not using them. Mistake. Memorizing vocabulary without practice. Fix. Use new words in sentences and conversations every day. Being afraid to speak. Mistake. Not speaking because of fear. Fix. Speak every day, even if you make mistakes. Confidence grows with practice. Remember, making mistakes is a natural part of learning. The key is to keep practicing, stay consistent, and never give up. Next, we will finish with motivation and final advice to help you stay on track and improve your fluency. Before we finish today's podcast, I want to give you some motivation and final advice for speaking English fluently. Remember, fluency does not happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and daily practice. The most important thing is to keep trying and never give up. Set small goals for yourself. For example, speak English for 5 to 10 minutes every day. Learn 2 to 3 new phrases each week. Practice thinking in English in simple situations. Celebrate every small improvement. Every sentence you speak correctly is a step closer to fluency. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are your best teachers. Finally, enjoy the process. Speaking English fluently is not just a skill. It's a way to connect with people, learn new things, and grow your confidence. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and your fluency will improve step by step. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast on how to speak English fluently. I hope you found these tips helpful and easy to follow. Remember, speaking English fluently is possible if you practice every day, think in English, use phrases, and stay confident. Start small, be consistent, and celebrate your progress. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss our future lessons. You can also share this episode with your friends who want to improve their English. I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment or message about your English learning journey, your questions, or your favorite tip from today. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember you can speak English fluently. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next episode.